Welcome to the 2023 Senior Reflection. I'm Presley Kiecker, and today I'm here with Stephen Bradshaw, and I'm going to ask you about your media experience. So what made you initially join media?
So I've always really been interested in media. You know, me and my friends have always loved media. I've loved watching YouTube videos, movies, that type of stuff since I've been, in middle school, 8th grade, and even my freshman year. So getting the opportunity to join my sophomore year was just super fun, and I kind of wanted to create my own videos and try that type of stuff out.
Nice. So you said you joined sophomore year, so that means you've been in media for 3 years, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Nice. What skills have you learned from taking media these last 3 years?
I think I've really just learned a lot about, editing, camera. I mean, those are kind of just like the basics of media, obviously, but besides that, I've kind of learned like shot composition, how to tell a story, which I feel like is super underrated and very important. Mr. G has done a great job about teaching that, it's not necessarily something that you can learn just by recording or editing all the time. You kind of have to learn that like creative mindset as well. So I thought that was super useful, but that definitely helped me a lot in my media journey.
Yeah, very nice. So what would you say your advice is for any underclassmen in media?
I'd just say have fun with it, especially starting out. It's going to take a lot of time to get used to. You've never really worked with this type of equipment. This is really high-level stuff with all these nice cameras, nice editing software, but it's really important to just have fun doing it and work that creative process. If you're not doing something you like, oftentimes your videos are just going to be like boring and not good. So you really have to find what you enjoy and figure out how you can make good quality media and videos out of that.
Nice. So what's next for you after high school?
So I'm going to be attending the College to Do page, and I plan on majoring in journalism and communications. So I still plan on doing a little bit of media, but currently I work as a journalist for multiple fantasy football and NFL sites. So I want to do some video creation, as I do that sometimes. I do like some podcasts and stuff for these sites and also social media. So I'd say media is going to be with me a little bit. So it definitely was nice to take this class, but I plan on focusing more on my journalism in the future.
Well, nice. Thank you so much for talking with us today, and that was Stephen Bradshaw.
Hello and welcome to the 2023 Neuqua Senior Reflections. I'm Clay O'Keefe, and today I'm here with Molly Mallett, and we're going to be asking her some questions about her media experience. So first off, what made you want to join media from the first place?
Well, I remember the summer before freshman year, I was getting super into watching movies and TV shows, and then I think it was at the elective fair I saw something for media, and I thought it would be a really fun class, so I decided to take it, and I've been taking it for the past 4 years.
Yeah, so over the past, since you've been it for 4 years, what would you say is your most favorite memory out of all 4 years of media?
Oh, that's a really hard question. I think I don't really have a favorite memory, but just the people that I've met. I've made so many close friends through media.
Yeah.
And I think just looking back on every class period and the projects that we've worked on, I think those are my favorite memories.
Kind of going off of that, also from the 4 years overall, what would you say are some of the most memorable skills that you've learned over your time in the media department?
Oh, definitely a lot of communication skills and problem solving and making a plan and then following through on that, because you have to make a shot list and you have to make sure that you have everything planned out. And it's definitely helped me grow as a creative person as well.
Yeah, of course. What is some advice that you would give to younger incoming media students?
Well, I'd say just give it your all and make the projects that you want to make. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Just work on what you want to do and what you're good at.
And then our last question for today is, what is next for you?
I'm actually studying film and television at Columbia College Chicago. So I'm going to be continuing my media career, and I'm really excited for that.
That's awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for talking with us today, and that was Molly.
Now joining us is Lachlan Sorensen. So Lachlan, how many years have you been in media?
3. I started sophomore year.
And over those 3 years, what would you say is your favorite memory?
That's actually kind of tough.
Yeah.
I really liked being Willie for in some shots for
Yeah.
Where's Willie, because it was just really funny being in the suit.
Yeah. And what got you started in media here?
When I was younger, a couple of years, I really wanted to become a movie director when I grew up. And I thought, oh, what's the best place to start? High school media class.
Exactly, yeah. What skills would you say were the most valuable that you learned while you were here?
I thought I was really good at editing before I started. Turns out, no, still not that good. I think I've gotten a little better over these years, but yeah, editing, I'd say.
Yeah. Any advice for younger media students?
Actually contribute. Don't just ride coattails. It's not as fun. Just sit around doing nothing.
And what's next for you?
I'm gonna go to Illinois State for history education, and then I hope I become a teacher.
Nice. Well, best of luck in your future. Thank you for joining us today.
Joining us now is Aiden Garcia. So what initially got you into media?
What initially got me into media? I don't know. I think like it's always something that I really love doing. Like as far back as I can remember, like I would make like iMovie trailers on like my cousin's iPad and like I actually used to have a YouTube channel, but it actually got deleted for reasons we don't talk about. But anyway, like freshman year I didn't do media, and that's like kind of like when I found out about like this whole like thing, and I was like, oh, like this is something that I want to be a part of. So I'd say about like end of freshman year is like when I made the choice to move over to media.
Nice. So you started your sophomore year, so you've been doing it for 3 years?
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. What are some like key skills that you've learned since being in media?
I guess some key skills that I've learned definitely is pre-production. Like it's all about pre-production, and it's all about like how much effort you put into it before actually making the project, because without that, then that's like when things could go wrong and things don't go your way. But I also think really just every project you learn something more, and I think there really is no like better film school than actually like just picking up a camera and like doing it.
Right, exactly. So what would be your biggest advice to any underclassmen in the media department?
Look at me dead in my eye. My biggest advice would be pre-production. Like I was just talking about, pre-production. However much effort you put into before making the film is basically what you're gonna get out. So that's my advice.
Yeah, I'd agree. So what's next for you after high school?
I'm actually gonna be going to Columbia College Chicago. I'm gonna be majoring in film and television, and yeah, hopefully I become a famous director one day, something like that.
Very cool. Thanks for talking with us.
Hello and welcome back to the 2023 Neuqua Senior Reflection. Today I am here with Sarah Marston, and we're going to be asking you some questions about your media journey. So what made you want to join media?
I did the media camp in 8th grade, and that was just like really fun to me, and I was struggling to choose between taking media, like a fun class, or an engineering class, because at the time I wanted to be an engineer, and I decided to take media because I was like, I can just take engineering classes later, right? And I don't want to be an engineer anymore, so I'm really glad that I picked taking media because it's just really fun. So
yeah, so since you said you started, like you did the 8th grade camp, does that mean you have been in media for all 4 years?
yes, yeah.
So over the 4 years that you've been in media, what would you say has been your most favorite memory over your time?
I'm gonna have to say variety show last year and this year. They were both really fun, but they were different in different ways, because last year I was, running camera and stuff, but this year I was able to direct it. So that's like a different experience than just running camera. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Fun experience.
So also like over all your time in high school and here in the media department, what would you say some of like the most important skills that you've learned?
I think like group work is really important. Like getting to work with many different people in this class, you learn like how different styles of like teamwork can be applied to different scenarios. Different leadership methods can be applied to different group work scenarios, because each time you're working with a group of new people, it's different than the last.
Yeah. So what is some advice that you would give to younger incoming media students?
I would say to younger media students, just get out there and just do the projects. Like, because I feel like that's something that I think a lot of us probably regret, is like not doing more. Like just getting out there and doing the projects So, and like spending time on them and like perfecting them and making sure that you're happy with it, because at the end of the day, that's the most important. So,
Yeah. And then our last question for today is, what is next for you?
I'm going to Iowa State University next fall, and I'm going to be majoring in soil and crop science with a minor in sustainability or Spanish. I haven't decided yet.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
And then that is all the questions we have today. Good luck with your future, and thanks.
Thank you.
Now joining us is Brandon Thomas. Now, Brandon, how many years have you been in media here?
I've been in media for 3 years. It was since sophomore, but technically it's been 4 years because I did start like halfway through media club in freshman year. Someone introduced me to media club, and I got my start in that department. But obviously when COVID hit, I was like, oh, I can't really do media club. So I was like, next year I'll do like media one, and then that was probably like the turning point of my high school career because it's probably like one of the most enjoyable classes that I'm taking.
Yeah. And over your time here, what would you say was your favorite memory in media?
My favorite memory would probably be just any like group project that involved like any out of school filming. There was a few times I've done that, but there was a funny story from last year that basically we were like doing a 7-day challenge and we got pulled over. It's pretty funny, but
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what got you started in the media field?
What got me started? Back in 2016-17, I was like doing video game. Just I was like recording the screen. I was like just doing whatever I felt like was cool. So I was just like recording like a video game I was playing, and then I would like use like Windows Movie Maker and then like splice together something. And as time went on, I was doing more and more. I was like doing more art stuff, so I incorporated the art into my, rather than just games, it was like, you know, all 3D animation or like 2D animation or whatever I would incorporate, and things would just like get better from there, and media obviously
And I
accelerated.
know you're really big on animation.
Yeah.
What other skills would you say were the most valuable that you've learned in your time here?
In media, it was mainly working with groups, like like a lot of like script writing or a lot of like directing work. I haven't done much directing work until more recently with the new project that we were doing, the live studio. But mainly a lot of script writing this year. I went into more and like wanted to do like more concepts, and like with a silent film or like Where's Willie, I was like doing a lot of more the writing aspect.
Yeah. And what is your advice for younger media students?
Probably advice, I would say try to find a group of people that you like, or like just find your like social circle within the media, but also like just grow your connections within the class and work with everybody like in your best of your ability, and try to like be a contributing member of media rather than just like sitting back. Just kind of do your thing, communicate well, and like do everything like in your part.
Yeah, of course. And what's next for you?
I'm going to community college, DuPage, and I'm majoring in media. I'll see if that turns out well, and if it does, I'll probably continue down the path of like film, TV, or editing and whatever.
Well, that's really cool. Well, best of luck in your future, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, now I'm here with Nick Lapatino. So what initially got you into media?
So initially, I got into media kind of around middle school. I started doing like these like little projects, video projects for my class, and it just kind of grew from there. My freshman year, I wasn't able to do media because I was doing orchestra, but after COVID, I kind of felt like I needed a break from music, so I decided to do media, and I'm doing it ever since.
So it's been 3 years since you started your sophomore year?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What is some advice that you would give underclassmen about media?
You can never over-prepare. You know, you can never have too much planned ahead, because the last thing you want is to show up on the day of shooting and realize you don't know what you're doing.
Right, yeah. What are some skills that you've learned throughout these past 3 years?
Been a lot better about planning ahead, you know, managing my time, communicating with people, making sure everyone's on the same page, that we're all in the same place at the same time. Everyone's got, you know, their equipment, their SD cards, things like that. So yeah.
Cool. What would you say your favorite memory has been?
Probably shooting. It wasn't shooting. Finding out that Teddy placed in MMEA, because I wasn't even sure I was going to place, and I was just happy we got any place at all, and I was really elated to find out that we did something.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Mhm.
So what's next for you after high school?
After high school, I'm going to Illinois State in Normal, Illinois. I'm going to be continuing to do film and television. It's going to be my major, and hopefully find a job somewhere in this field. So yeah.
Nice, very cool.
Now joining us is Mitchell Vesta. So Mitchell, how many years have you been in media here?
So this is my third year in media, and actually this year I actually did Wildcat Weekly this year. So this is my third year in production, first year in Wildcat Weekly.
Nice. So over those 3 years, what would you say is your favorite memory in media?
Gosh, that's tough, but one I feel like that stands out to me over the years would actually be Spirit Week. I mean,
yeah,
that just seems like one of my favorite projects. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, there's a lot to it. It took a long time to complete, but it was so cool to be able to do that and get the entire school's reaction. That definitely stood out to me.
And what got you started in media?
Honestly, it kind of was my parents who were like, you should try this out. I mean, I've always kind of liked doing like some small editing projects, you know. It was kind of like a hobby, and then I decided, you know what? Parents wanted me to, and I kind of pushed me a bit, like kind of over the edge because I was kind of on the border, and then yeah, the rest is just history.
Yeah. And what skills would you say were the most valuable that you've learned over your time here?
Oh gosh, one of them is definitely time management. I mean, I feel like anyone especially in media can relate, because there's just so much that goes into editing a video. The editing skills can definitely help me out later on down the road, and just kind of all the skills like with cinematography, planning, and just all that stuff.
Yeah. What's your advice for younger media students?
Especially even if you're just starting out, or even if you're on the border on starting out or continuing even on to a future year, I say do it, because I mean these 3 years in media have just been something that I look forward to every day. So it's definitely one of the best. So actually next, I'm actually not continuing on media. I'm actually not continuing in schooling. I'm actually planning on going into construction and land surveying. So I start that June 5th and be
really
busy out in the field.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you in your future.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining us today.
Joining me now is Jimmy Long. So Jimmy, what initially got you into media?
Well, some of my friends back in freshman year did media, and I haven't done it yet. So I saw them going to the main campus and like going on the shuttle, and they all really recommended the class to me. So then I decided to take it my sophomore year.
Nice. So you've been doing it for 3 years since you started your sophomore year?
Yes.
Nice. So what are some skills that you've learned in the past 3 years?
Obviously, you've learned like your media skills, like editing, filming videos and stuff, but also just like the group collaboration and like that kind of aspect of it. Just like learning how to work with others and kind of going out of your comfort zone. And also just like being more creative like in your mind and like coming up with ideas.
Nice. What advice would you give some underclassmen in the media department?
I would just say to really like plan out your videos a lot, just because a lot of things always go like not as they seem, and like it's always unexpected. So just having a solid plan for something that you really want to shoot will help you get the products that you're looking for.
Nice. So what would you say your favorite memory is here?
I really enjoyed doing Spirit Week this year. It was like there was a lot of ups and downs, and like there was just a lot going on with the whole process. But once the episodes started coming out and people around the school started talking about it, it was cool to know that like I was part of the process.
Yeah, that's super cool. So what are your plans for after high school?
Well, I'm going to Loyola Marymount University to study health and human sciences, which is kind of just like exercise science. And I'm also minoring in dance. So I'm excited to be out in California and just see what that's like.
Nice, that's really cool. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jimmy.
Now joining us is Josh Rouse. So Josh, how many years have you been in media?
I've been 4 years.
So you're 4 years, yeah. So over those 4 years, what would you say is your favorite memory?
I feel like a bunch of them involve the Neuqua Tonight project. Last year we had Ben Marshall. He was part of our group and the head of our group, and he decided to do a haunted house in May as our skit. But while he was calling up like 10:15, he finally secured a singular one, and as the girl on the phone was going to get her boss, he asked for her name. He doesn't remember the name, but he then proceeded to burst out laughter at her name and then bombed the whole idea of doing a haunted house.
Yeah, that's really funny. And what got you started in media?
Back in 7th grade, back at Scullin, we did a Kids Matters film about cyberbullying. And I did camera for that, and then I'm like, you know what, this is fun. So then when I got here, it's like, oh, there's a production class. And I shifted more from filming it to more post-production over time.
Yeah. And what skills would you say were the most valuable that you've learned over your time here?
I feel like mainly group work, be able to work with any group you really get, and if it's not the best group, you still will find ways to make it more creative or work around people's issues, and really just building relationships with really anyone.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to younger media students?
I just really be as creative as you can. Don't try to like hold yourself back. It might be tough to think of something, or it might be tough to get this shot or work around an issue. But I'd say just be as creative as you can, because that's what this class is all about.
Yeah. And what's next for you?
I will be going to Columbia College in Chicago, and I'll be majoring in post-production, focusing more on editing.
Well, best of luck in your future, Josh. And that was the 2023 Neuqua Senior Reflections. I'm Ani, and thank you for watching.